Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. What if I told you your voice isn't just meant to be heard, but felt? There's a fire in your story, a truth the world needs, but too many are still whispering when they were born to resonate. I'm Brad Walsh, and I created a free masterclass called Empower Your Voice, 5 Secrets to Becoming an In-Demand Podcast Guest, because I believe your voice deserves a stage. If you're ready to speak with power, purpose, and presence, it's time to own your truth, be heard, and be unforgettable. Click the link in the show notes to sign up now. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to amplify and elevate the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Arliss Dudley-Cash. She is an author, a business consultant, and a TV host. Welcome, Arliss. I am so excited and happy and honored to have you here. We have been trying for quite some time to get this done, so it's nice to finally have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, and I'm just so grateful, and I'm so grateful for all that you do in this world and who you are, and I'm just really honored to be here.
Thank you very much. I am so excited to have you here and jump in and share all the things, Arliss. So with that being said, let's jump right in. I want to dive in first and start discussing the business consulting work that you do. What do you believe is in today's business world is getting fundamentally wrong about leadership?
Yeah, I really love this question. The thing that comes to mind for me is that business and business leadership really is conformed to what society thinks it should be. And in that view of what it should be, there really isn't a lot of space for wholeness. There's not a lot of space for humanness. There's not a lot of space for compassion. There's not a lot of space for gentleness or ease. And I really believe that successful business is part of all of those things. And all of those things are really important. And they're left to the wayside because they're thought of as soft skills, or they're thought of as not being strong. And really, the strongest, most powerful business owners that I know have all of those skills, and they show their humanness. They're not afraid to admit when they've made a mistake or a misstep. They are okay with learning and growing even later in business years or in age years. And that's really what I am hoping and growing and stepping into myself, and really want to encourage other business owners to step into too. It's okay to be our full selves. And it's okay to show compassion to ourselves and others and still be a leader.
Yeah. It's like those skill sets or those traits cannot be shown in the boardroom because they're signs of weakness and I think that whole mindset is shifting a little bit, but we still have a long way to go with stuff like that. I think, especially in corporate. I think among entrepreneurs and in entrepreneurship, the solopreneurs, that's much more prevalent. But when we talk about like leadership in the boardroom and in the corporate setting, it's still very frowned upon and not seen as something that they will adopt anytime soon.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that changes. Right now, we're seeing examples of what leadership looks like when it is unyielding, when it is not willing to be questioned, when it is forceful and controlling. And I see this recoil in our society to that type of leadership. And maybe that's the example that we need to see in order to step into this different type of leadership, which is a gentler form.
Agreed. Now, when you work with companies, Arliss, what transformation do you love most to spark, and how do you know when it's happened?
Yeah. So the transformation that I love most is when the business owner finally feels really comfortable with who they are as a business owner and whatever product or service they're offering, and not feeling the need to conform or change it or explain it in some way to make it different than what they really want to be putting out. And it literally looks like a full body transformation. Like entrepreneurs go from being this, it's almost like their neck muscles are sticking out because it's so stressful to be a business. And then at some point they just like ease and their shoulders drop and they have a little bit more of a smile on their face and it just feels lighter. Like it's okay that I want to make wiener dog sweaters and that's my business and I'm proud a wiener dog sweater knitter and I'm so excited about it and I feel really confident in that because it really doesn't matter what we're offering. There is somebody out there for it. There is. And I've seen products and services that I'm like, there's no way. And of course there's a market for it. Of course there is. So that's not the problem. The problem is not creating the market. The problem is really feeling comfortable and confident. And that's in all honesty, I don't create that transformation. They create transformation within themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a vessel or medium to witnessing that transformation and saying, hey, maybe we'll look over there.
Yeah.
And just really celebrating the work that they do within themselves.
Yeah, you're the guide and you give them the tools or show them the tools to use. You arm them with the knowledge and the tools to fill their toolkit to do that. But it's them that has to do the work. They make the transformation happen. You're just there to support them through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why back in the day when I think it was, I don't think I'm getting this right, but I think it was like P.T. Barnum like sold white salmon or something like that. And it was like the biggest hit at the time or something. I don't know. I'm making stuff up, but it was something like that. And it was so successful. I don't even think it was salmon. Has anybody ever heard of a white salmon before? But whoever was selling that, like totally believed in what they were doing. Like they believed in their product. They believed that they had a market and they believed they were going to be successful. And they were. And that is like 90% of entrepreneurship is just believing in ourselves and knowing that we have something worthwhile. And of course, the example I was using is shystery. It's not above board, but that's okay. But it's that belief that we can have in ourselves when what we are offering is real and when what we are offering is the truth of who we are. That makes all the difference. People don't want to buy from somebody that is not confident.
For sure. And they can sense that.
Yeah. And they can sense it. Absolutely.
And so how do you lead women in business differently than you were once led? And why was that change necessary?
Yeah. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk about hormones impacting decision, like how we feel one day and what decision we're making or not making or how we're interacting with somebody. It's okay to talk about how having responsibilities with our families impacts our work. And it's okay to be fierce and be a ball buster and get out there and do all the things. Like it's okay to rage. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to use swear words. And I will say that's the same way I leave men.
Okay.
It's really funny because for a long time I didn't have male clients and I was nervous about having male clients. And I didn't teach my classes for men. I only taught them for women. And over the last 2 years, that has really shifted where I now have men's classes just as often as women's classes. And I would say over a third of my clients are male. And I have the same conversations. I have the same conversations about hormones and about crying and about all the things. It's the same stuff because we're human beings. Yes. And what's really interesting is it's the same things that women have been made to feel weak for, are the same things that men have been made to feel weak for expressing. And so it's a lot of the same conversations. I thought it was going to be vastly, wildly different, but it really isn't.
So you're pleasantly surprised.
I'm pleasantly surprised and a little sad.
Yeah. Yeah, the men, we go through different things and we go through shit too. It's not talked about. I think that for men, it goes back to when we were young boys being raised with the don't show your emotions, don't talk about your emotions, put your big boy pants on, all of those things that we heard as boys. It doesn't get talked about because men are taught still, obviously, they're still living in that mindset of, oh, I can't show my emotions. I can't talk about what I was told as a kid because then I'm weak. I'm showing my emotions. So it's a difficult tightrope to walk for men. And not saying that women don't have struggles too. Of course they do. They're just different.
Yeah, they're different, but they're really not that different. It's like getting into the back end of things
Yeah.
and being the person that's now having the conversations. I thought it would be so different, the things that men say versus what women say about their concerns. Because I teach self-love classes as well as doing business consulting, and they're saying the same things in the classes. It's fascinating how much we are alike in the struggles that we have, and yet we think we're so vastly different.
Absolutely. You're right. 100%. What is something about being a woman in business that you've only learned by living it, not reading about it?
People interact with you differently depending on the gender that they think you are. I have an ambiguous name, and the name Arliss was the name of a TV show in the 2000s, and the main character was a man. And so up until very recently, I would say 50% of the people that interacted with me thought I was a man before they actually saw me.
Really?
Before Zoom and before pictures on email signatures and things like that. And there's a different interaction that happens, being able to see both sides of what that looks like. And for most of my career, I preferred when men, or when men especially, but both men or women, thought I was a man. It was easier. It was more
Really?
direct. It was simpler. All the BS was cut out. And yeah, and I allowed them to believe that, if I'm honest. I didn't correct them. Like when they would call me sir in an email or something like that, I didn't correct them because it
Wow.
just made the conversation more direct and easier. Now that I have a website and I have a picture in my email and I'm more visible because I've been on podcasts and things like that, that doesn't happen as often. But what I have found is that as I've made my physical appearance more androgynous, not because I wanted simpler hair. I didn't want long hair anymore because you would not imagine the amount of time I was putting into just making my hair be the thing. And I was over it. I just wanted simpler hair. I didn't want to wear makeup anymore. I was like, what the heck am I doing? This is like minutes of my life. Like I'm over it. The more that I've made myself look more androgynous, not because I wanted to look more androgynous, but because I wanted the minutes back
For
in my
ease.
life to do other things with. I'm now going into a place where those conversations are more direct and are more simpler, or more simple. I know simpler is not a word, but my brain likes to make it
That's
words.
okay.
So it's very interesting. I think that there is, in our society, there's this belief that when communicating with women, that there needs to be more fluff or more dialogue happening. And that is true for some people, but it's true for some people based on their personality type, not based on their gender. That it needs to be like more gentle, that things need to be eased into, that having direct, short conversation is considered rude to most women. And in my experience of female entrepreneurs and my experience as a female entrepreneur, I love when somebody's, I need X at this date and this time, and that's it. That I'm like, yes, I get down with that. I get about 4 paragraphs and that information's in there somewhere. And I'm like, I have no idea what the heck we're talking about. I am lost. So yes, that level of communication is really great for a specific personality type. And you can get me on personality types and we can talk about it the rest of the time. But it's not a gender-based thing. And so that's what I've noticed in my experience as a female entrepreneur.
Okay. Now, when did you first realize that your voice wasn't just valuable, it was a non-negotiable?
The very first public speaking that I did I was so terrified, by the way, and I had to be totally like arm wrestled, and I went kicking and screaming. So one of my very good friends, Laura Reed, who is a fabulous speaking coach, she's my speaking coach. She's an amazing speaker and writer. And we were in BNI together, and she was like, "You'd be a really great speaker." And I was like, "Oh, that is so funny." Unforgivable. And she said, "No, you should really consider speaking at this upcoming virtual conference that I'm participating in." And I was like, "No, I don't think so." And so then we had another one-to-one. She's like, "No, you really should. It's an international conference. You can say you're an international speaker, and they're really nice. It'll be fun, all this stuff." And I was like, "Okay, I will do this so that I can do it once. I can say that I've done it, and I never have to do it again. And I could put on my resume, I'm an international speaker, and then I'm done. I don't ever have to do
Yeah.
it." Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember I was practicing. I had 13 drafts of my speech. And it's 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes, there's 13 drafts.
That's, yeah.
Practicing like every day, like the week leading up to it. I'm sobbing every day. Can't eat, like losing my food, the whole 9 yards. And I get there. I'm in front of my computer. It's in early 2021, so it's still COVID time. And the virtual curtains open, and I give my speech. And it felt like the easiest, most natural thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I finish, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to do with the rest of my life."
Wow. You knew at that moment.
I knew in that moment. And I got so many messages from people that said, "I really needed to hear that. Hearing your story made me feel seen. I feel like I'm not alone. Thank you so much for that different perspective. I haven't thought about it that way." And I realized that I have a gift of sharing in a way where I get to be one with the other person I'm talking with. It's not it's not a me on the stage situation. We're having a conversation no matter how big the audience is. And we get to talk about what really supports us and what really doesn't, and what we learn and what we don't. And I get to learn from my audience just as much as they learn from me. And I'm so grateful for that. And that's when I realized that this is what I'm meant to do. And it's changed my life.
That's a powerful experience. And you had to go kicking and screaming into it.
I know. Isn't that the way it is, though?
Yes. Usually.
It's our biggest fear of doing the thing that is really the thing that we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny the way things work, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is one lie high achieving women are conditioned to believe that keeps them stuck in cycles of burnout or playing small?
Yeah. That we have to achieve, or we are not worthy of acceptance, love, success, friendship, sales, fill in the blank. That we have to keep doing and doing and doing, and there's never enough time, and there's always more that we can do, and we've never done enough. And I believe that it comes from a place where we feel like there's like a low level sense of fear or terror in us, that if we don't achieve in that way, that we will be not alive anymore. Like it like literally almost feels like a life or death situation. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying because, and what I mean by life or death is not necessarily our actual life or death, but it might be the life or death of the life that we live. And it's not real. It's not real.
Created it up here.
I'm lovable whether I do my to-do list, which is you just be so proud. So much of it is crossed off. But here's my to-do list that I'm working on this week. I'm lovable whether I do that or not. I'm successful whether I do that or not. I'm a good friend and a good partner and a good daughter and a good whatever, doggy mama, whether I do that or not. I'm a good business consultant whether I do it or not. And I deserve to live a good life and to be alive and to be healthy whether I do it or not.
For sure. For sure. But it goes back to the whole conditioning bullshit that has been bred into us and driven into us. It's completely false.
Yeah. There's a book that I'm reading right now. I don't like how it's so focused on parents, but it's called adult children of emotionally immature parents. I think you could just say adults that interact with emotionally immature people could be the title. And the book was very focused on parents. I'm extremely close to my parents. I love my parents. I have a great relationship. My husband and I live on the same property as my parents.
Yeah.
And I'm learning from that book, how immature most of us adults, I include myself in this, are in some way, even if it's a small
Yep.
way, and how that impacts the way that we look at the world when we're around immature adults as young people, and how that impacts how we see the world as adults now, and how fearful we all are, or a lot of us are,
Yep.
and how that fear really dictates a lot of our choices in life. And I don't want that to dictate our choices anymore.
It keeps us stuck.
Yeah, I want us to get to a place where we can mature. Now, do I ever think we're going to be mature, like in quotes, people all the time? No, no. We're still human beings, right?
Yeah.
And like we can mature, we can see where the immaturities within ourselves or when others have impacted us and make different choices. So anyway, I don't know the author of the book personally, but it's a book that I have found helpful to me to understand why I have this low level of fear going on.
Yeah. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. What's a truth that you live by now that would have scared the hell out of the woman you were 5 years ago?
That it's okay to completely fall on my face. It's okay. It's okay to say the wrong thing. I can think of at least 3 things I've said in this podcast that I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I like? You really said balls out, Arliss? Come on now. And it's okay. It's okay to say the wrong thing. It's okay to apologize for it later and make it right and take ownership of it. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to like flat out, quote unquote, fail at something. It's okay. It's repairable. And if something is not repairable, that says more about the other parties involved than it does about me as a person. Yeah, I'm willing to take ownership of my mistakes, and I'm willing to do what needs to be said or done to make it right and to apologize. And I'm okay with the fact that I am going to make mistakes, and I'm okay to take risks when that and it might result in a misstep or a mistake, and that's okay.
Mistakes, failures, whatever you want to call it, they are all part of our journey, and they help shape who we become. They help shape our successes, because you have to fail in order to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's part of the process.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, those moments of my life where I felt in my past where I felt like I had made such a big mistake or failed in such a big way, they are some of the most precious moments of my life now. It's not the big successes that I think about. It's those moments where I fell on my face, and guess what? I got back up. Or the person standing next to me helped me back up. Or my whole community helped me back up. Those are the things that matter to me now.
Now, speaking of failure and success, I'm going to flip the script to ask you, what's a lesson that success has taught you that failure never could?
Yeah. I think the biggest lesson that success has taught me is that I really don't want to be successful in the way that I thought I wanted to be successful before. In the past, being highly visible, gaining recognition, making a certain amount of money, and being able to talk about it, the accolades, the notoriety, I'm not using the right word, but anyway, was my version of success. And for 1 year, I got close to what I thought I would want. And my brother passed away unexpectedly that year. And I realized that 1, it was exhausting.
Yeah.
2, yeah, I was really visible to a lot of people that I really didn't know, that I didn't really have connection to, and I had become a commodity that other people could use.
Right.
And I'm not saying that that's not wonderful for other people and feels really great to other people, but it did not feel great to me. And I realized that I just really want to be of support for people. I want to be, yeah, and I want to be accessible. I
Yeah.
want my friends and the people that I support to feel like they can text me and ask for help. I don't want to be at a place where people don't find me accessible anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. And I realized that this desire for recognition and notoriety, and I can't think of the word, not, it's like fame, but it's not exactly fame, but that came from a place of fear, and that came
Hmm.
from a place of what society wants for me. And I'm a homebody. Like my 80 and 90-year-old parents make me look like an introverted hermit. Like I love being at home. I love being with my partner.
Yeah.
And I love reading a book by myself and all of those things. And so I think it really taught me who I actually am. And I'm grateful I went through that experience. And I'm grateful that I know that I can do it if I decide later I want to do it. But yeah, it wasn't what I thought I wanted. It wasn't what I
Yeah.
actually want, I guess I would say.
It's funny when we get into things and start going down that path, it usually isn't what we thought we wanted or where we thought we would end up. It usually changes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to talk a little bit now about you being a TV host. Can you tell us about the show that you're the host of, what it's all about, how long you've been doing it, how this opportunity came about for you?
Yeah. So it's through the Win Win Women's Organization. It's called Building Business with Soul. And I started it in 2023. And I still have the episodes that I made up there. I haven't made a new one in a while. The passing of my brother really put me in a place where I eliminated everything that wasn't essential to me anymore.
Okay.
And I think essential is a really interesting word that I hadn't thought about before. It's something that I plan to get back to making new episodes of. My thought around it, and I'm actually writing a book right now called Building Business with
Oh,
Soul, which is on the same topic, is
excellent.
that these soft skills, quote unquote, soft skills that have been shown to have such huge impacts in business. Research has shown to have such an impact in business. Talking about one, what are they? How do we implement them? And two, how do they actually correspond to the success of the quote hard skills that are so valued in business? And that marrying between the two. For instance, a great example is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is something that wasn't even a thing that was talked about until maybe 7 years ago or something like that on a
Yeah.
bigger scale.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
talked about a lot more now, but it's just now starting to get integrated into corporate America, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's just like hooey. It's like what or woo, which is
Yes.
fascinating. That is
Yeah.
what was to some people. But anyway, they think it's just hooey woo, right? And yet there's been research done that shows that every point in emotional intelligence that we improve results in a $1,400 increase in the income that we bring in.
Wow.
So there is a literal direct correlation between our emotional intelligence and the amount of money we make in our business or the amount of money that we make as an employee. And I think that those links between the soft skills and the hard skills are not very well known and not very well
Yeah.
understood. And I want to show people those links and why they're important and why they go hand in hand to create overall success for business owners.
Yeah. And the whole landscape of business, entrepreneurship, corporate life, it all needs to change. We need to shift the mindset around all of it for sure and bring awareness to all of these amazing things because of the correlation. There will be a shift for people. We need to burn things down to the foundation and start again.
And in some ways, that's what it feels like is happening right now in our society.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I agree. It's necessary. I think it is. I think it's absolutely necessary. Now, in your opinion, what does it really take to build authority in a world obsessed with visibility? You spoke about visibility.
Yeah. Being authentic, being who we really are, talking about what we really care about, getting really knowledgeable about this thing. Okay. I think that there's a tendency to feel like we have to be an authority now. And so what we know right now is as much as we know. And if we admit or try to learn more, then we're saying that we're not an authority. But I believe it's the opposite. I believe that we have to be lifelong learners. We have to keep diving in and learning more and be open to the new research, the new thought processes, the new discussions that are being had on the topics that we really care about. And we have to be willing to put our ideas out there, which is really scary, in blogs and videos and talks and books, in our website, in workshops, whatever that looks like. And we also have to be willing and excited to have conversations with other people in the same genre and collaborate.
For sure.
Because I don't believe that authority is made alone.
No.
You know, it's made in collaboration with others.
Everything. It's absolutely everything. I don't care what anyone says.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were not meant to be on this planet doing human own.
No, absolutely not.
And I also think that authority is not necessarily famous. I don't consider I'm not famous. I don't do social media at all. I don't even have it on my phone. I don't even on occasion, like once every 6 months, I'll get on Instagram and catch up on who had babies and got married and whatever, and then I'll take it off my phone. But being an authority is being extremely knowledgeable and being able to share about that topic and being able to guide others in that topic and learning about that topic. And that's being an authority, whether that's in front of 10 people or 10 million people.
That's right.
And yeah, is it nice when everyone's asking you to talk places and people are really excited to work with you and all that stuff? Yeah, but that's not what makes somebody an authority.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I love, though, that you brought up the fact about collaboration and community. Those, in my opinion, those are two of the most important things in entrepreneurship. It all ties back, and it always comes back to relationships. Always.
Yeah.
And as you said, we are not meant to do this thing called life alone. We can't. It's impossible. You cannot do it by yourself, nor can you do entrepreneurship by yourself. You have to have people around you supporting you. You can't do it by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that the more that there has been focus on individual success and individual fame or notoriety or visibility, there's been this pulling away from community, which really makes me sad because we can do so much when we act together.
Yep. Our voices are so much louder collectively than they are singularly. It's so important. And you're right. I think we've lost that sense of what community actually is, and we need to get back to it. I think that COVID has driven us apart because we were all on our own. We were segregated and all those things. But I think now people are craving more of that personal interaction and personal touch and want to be in community with others. And we just need to continue on that path and continue to grow our communities and get into communities that are of like mind and of like-hearted communities. That's what we need.
Yeah, I completely agree.
What message, Arliss, do you believe that you're here to amplify, even if it makes people uncomfortable?
We can only love others as much as we are willing to love ourselves. We can only be as gentle to others as we are willing to be gentle to ourselves. We can only be as compassionate to others as we are willing to be compassionate to ourselves. Whatever we normalize inside of our head in our self-talk, we then exhibit out externally, whether we are aware of it or not. And I say this from a place where 90% of what I used to say to myself was berating and belittling and shaming and blaming and judgment. And guess what? I was incredibly judgmental and harsh and angry and like a human bulldozer to the people around me. Yeah. And I didn't think that it was just totally normal. I thought I was being kind.
Yeah.
And we think our inner landscape is our inner landscape, and it's totally not related to how we interact on the outside, and it's just not real. It's just not real. And I know that can be extremely confronting and hard for people to hear, especially for people that are aware that their inner landscape is very negative, especially negative towards themselves. And it's changeable.
Yeah.
It might take a whole lifetime to get to a more positive place, and that's okay, but it is changeable.
We are the hardest on ourselves. We are our own worst critics for sure. But what was the catalyst then for you, or that awareness moment that you realized, wait a minute, I got to stop being this way to others and to myself? Was there something in particular?
Yeah, I got a friend, and we're still friends. We've been friends for almost 25 years, who was really willing to be honest with me about how I was acting and ask me hard questions, and also be themselves with me and be open to me being like, excuse my language, but that was really shitty. Maybe you should try again and not say it quite or whatever. And we did
So a
that
real
for
raw moment.
Yeah. And we have done that for each other for 25 years and have been able to be honest with each other about what's going on in our internal headspace. And we're still doing it. And we're much,
Yeah.
much gentler people now. And we know that there's more gentle to be had. We know that there's more loving to be had. And we're still saying the same things to each other. Maybe try that one again.
I think everyone needs a friend like that.
Yeah.
What part of your identity do most people underestimate? And how have you turned that into your edge?
Yeah. So I'm the person that likes to see all the trains run on time. I'm the person that wants in the back, like in my true self, on the back side of things, I want everything on the front side to run incredibly smoothly, because on the back side, everything is being handled. And I want to be the person that handles it. I want to know all the information, all of the detail. Now, I will say that I don't know how much I was underestimated in this way, in the sense of people thought I wasn't capable of it. But I don't know. But I would say that people didn't understand the level to which I could have managed the operations side of things.
Yeah.
And people are still surprised when I come in and help events or help with, or even helping my clients come up with their steps of operations for their business and things like that. I am grateful that my brain just looks at things differently than most other people and can see the questions of how things need to happen for them to go really smoothly. And I'm really grateful for that. It feels like a superpower for me, because I don't even have to try and it just happens, which is what I think a superpower is. And it is so much freaking fun. Like, it's so fun. Till one time I was in this wedding, and at the end of it, the owner of the place where we had the wedding came up to me and they were like, "This is the first time I've ever seen the wedding where, the exact time that you said everything was going to happen, it happened." And I was like, "Really? What happens at other weddings?" It had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really like that. And I have to be really careful to not micromanage my life and the other people in my life with that superpower that I have. So it's a positive thing, but it can go into the negative if I'm not careful.
It's a very delicate balancing act.
Yeah.
When you strip away the roles, titles, and degrees, who are you really at your most raw and real?
I'm a person that really loves people. I'm a person that is constantly trying to figure out within my own mind if a choice that I'm making or a way I'm feeling is from a place of fear or not. I'm a person that believes that every person on this planet, no matter who they are, deserves love and respect. Like even Ted Bundy. Now, Ted, it might be love and respect from a distance, right? But I believe that all human beings deserve love and respect. I believe that we're all enough intrinsically within us, even in the days when I don't feel enough.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we should have to do life alone, and I don't believe that we should have to do business alone. I do business consulting because I have the knowledge to do it, I'm not, in all honesty, I'm not that crazy about necessarily talking about business or supporting people in business all day, but I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Um, and it allows me to sneaky in the, like, how can we be more gentle to ourselves today? How can we be more loving to ourselves today? How can we be more compassionate towards ourselves today? And those are questions that I ask myself every day. I'm somebody that spends a lot of time alone, and I like it. I like to be
Yeah.
alone.
Me too.
Um,
I love my alone time.
I, because of my health concerns, I'm a person that has anxiety around doing things like going out or even driving by myself some days. And that's hard for me because there's a part of me that feels so strong and
Yeah.
feels so capable. And my body has different ideas sometimes. But yeah, I really love people. I really don't want people to feel alone in this world. I really don't want people to feel shame about who they are in this world. I want to be the person that people can call and be like, oh my gosh, I think I made this terrible mistake and I think I might be unlovable or whatever it is. And I can be that person. It doesn't matter what you've done. You're okay. I've spent a lot of time masking who I am and being fearful of being seen for who I really am. And then in the last 5 to 10 years, I've really let that go. And I'm still letting that go. And I want my fellow colleagues to feel like I am a person that they can reach out to anytime. Yeah, I really love people.
Well, what would your younger self never believe about the woman you've become? And what would she most admire?
Oh my gosh, all of it. Yeah, that I feel comfortable in my own skin, that I am comfortable being wacky and quacky and funny and in my own sense of humor and being honest about who I am, that I'm in a place in my life where I desire peace over excitement, and that I have so much love in my life. And I have such a big, huge, beautiful community of people that I know that I can reach out to and just be like, I need someone to say that I'm okay today. And they'd be like, you're okay.
They got your back.
People that I
Yeah.
don't even know very well. Yeah. But I think that just the feeling good in my own skin and being authentic. When I was younger, I got bullied a lot when I was a kid. I got bullied a lot when I was a kid. And so I created this facade and these physical expectations for myself that I had that was very painful for me to let go in my later 20s. Very scary, still scary.
Yeah. That stuff, that bullying scars you, and those scars run deep. It's a hard thing to get through, and it damages your self esteem and your self confidence and all of those things.
Yeah.
It's tough. If you could whisper one thing into the heart of every woman listening to this podcast right now, something she's forgotten but needs to hear, what would it be?
I would say you can love yourself and be kind to yourself and do for yourself just as much as you believe that you can do and be and love others. You can, and you're worthy of it, and it's important. And you're not sacrificing anyone by doing for you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Arliss. What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
I have a really out of the box thinking brain. Like my brain is literally willing to think of any possible random option. And I've had people call me the ideas queen, which I like that title.
Yeah, I like that title too.
And I like that. I think that's my superpower is I'm like being able to think of things in a different way and how to do things in a different way. I think it really supports me in my own business and being successful. But
Yeah.
that's what my clients say is the most helpful to them.
Okay.
So much we get so rigid in our thinking of how things have to be, which are usually the hardest, most difficult, arduous way possible.
Yeah.
Pulling ourselves over glass or something to get the thing done when we could like plug it into AI and
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with finding the easy way. And my brain is really good at it.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of success, what does that word mean to you? How do you define success?
Today, I define success as freedom and peace. Getting to set my own schedule for the most part, getting to choose who I work with and what I do, getting to have time in my life to do all the self-care that my body really needs in order to function really well, having the space and time to spend time with my parents and my friends and my family and my partner. And when my body says we can't do today, having the ability to be able to say, I need to reschedule, I can't do today.
Yeah. That's an important one for sure. People always have this fear of how other people are going to react to these things, but we have to listen to our bodies when our bodies tell us that, nope, sorry, it's not happening today. You need a break. And so many people ignore those signs
Yeah. And I
to their
did.
detriment.
I did. And I overworked myself so much in my teens and 20s. And I didn't know at the time that I had a rare genetic condition. That by the time I made it to 28, or it wasn't even 28, I can't remember. Maybe it was. I don't know. Anyway, but by the time I made it to the around 28, I had overworked my body and not listened to the signs to the point where I was literally in a life or death situation. And I found out at the time that I had a rare genetic condition. And I was so sick, I didn't know if I would ever recover.
Wow.
And the doctors didn't know if I would ever recover. And I still have that genetic condition. And I still now get into times where I will work myself, not because I want to, but because I forget. And because I still am driven inside of me.
Yeah.
And I have a brain that goes a million miles an hour with a body that goes 5. And then I have to take time off and I have to recover. And sometimes, even when I don't overdo, my body needs time off and
Yeah.
to recover. And if I'm honest, I've gotten responses from people that say, you're like the most unprofessional person I've ever met. You've rescheduled with me 3 times. I've had people say to me, you shouldn't be an entrepreneur. You shouldn't be working or doing what you're doing because, you've had to take time off or whatever.
Those aren't your people.
And those aren't my people. And what that tells me is if those people had my body or had my challenges and they had to take time off, it would be absolutely terrifying to do.
Yep.
So at some point, we won't live in a world where that's the case, where
Yeah.
we don't have to put our bodies on the line in order to be quote unquote successful in this world.
Agreed. 1000%. Absolutely. We should be able to say, you know what? I'm sorry, but I just can't do this right now. And I need to take a break. I never, ever get fussed about things like that. If someone cancels on me, okay, no problem. I just look at it. This isn't the right time. And it will happen when it's meant to happen. That's all there is to it. I don't care if you've canceled 2, 4, 6, 8 times. I don't care. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen. If it's not, it won't. That's okay. You can't get what good is getting pissed off at someone for canceling going to do you? Most importantly, what's it going to do for you? It's going to put you into a tailspin. It's going to get you pissed off. It's going to cause all these issues inside of you. It's not going to bother the other person. They don't care.
Yeah.
So why would you do that to yourself?
Absolutely. And if I'm honest, I'm an awesome networker. Like people love networking with me. Like I love giving to the people that I network with. So like when somebody is, oh my gosh, you've rescheduled me 3 times, I can't meet with you. I'm like, you're missing out, dude.
Yeah, you're lost, not mine. If you can't take a moment within yourself to realize that you're not just canceling just to cancel, there's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
So deal with it. This is what it is. And if you don't want to, okay, that's all right. Then you go on your way. I'll go on mine. And it's your loss. Sorry.
Yeah.
Be patient with people. You don't know what someone else is going through. You have no idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like I'm just starting to get brave in this area to actually say what's going on. Because in the past, I would write an email that I'm just not available and I need to reschedule because I thought that was a professional response. And I think the
Yeah.
last time I had to reschedule something, I was like, I have the worst sinus infection ever, and mucus is shooting out of my head. I can't talk to you.
You don't
Probably
want
too
to
much
with me when I'm like
information.
that.
But like,
Yeah.
I'm finally getting brave to say the thing that's actually happening.
Yep, absolutely. And I love that. I think that's amazing. We should all take a page from that book and learn that for sure. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Feeling safe to be myself.
Okay. We're going to jump into a little rapid fire section here. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3, 4 word answer type thing. Okay.
Okay.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Compassionate.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Love.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Loved.
What is one thing you love about yourself that is not related to your physical appearance?
My sense of humor.
What is one word that defines the woman you are becoming?
Gentle.
And that concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I have a bonus question for you that I threw in. If other people could use 3 words to describe you, what would you want those 3 words to be?
Compassionate, gentle, and loving over here.
That's not boring at all. That's not boring at all. Who in your life has had the biggest impact on you and why?
My husband, I have 4 people like you mentioned, but my husband, because of like the amount that he has grown in the time that I have known him, gives me hope for humanity. Like seeing, like, it's amazing to see how much he has blossomed as a person and his skills and tools and all the things. My mom really shaped what being a woman looks like. And my dad, too. My dad is an incredible feminist. He thinks that women should rule the world and we would live in a much better world.
Agreed.
And my friend Bells is that friend of 25 years that we have been our worst selves and best selves to each other, and being able to have that with somebody else and still feel acceptance and love is something that most people never get.
Yeah, for sure. What is an unexpected blessing or occurrence in your life that you're grateful for?
I'm really grateful that I have health challenges. I would love to have less. And I'm sure that sounds weird, but like it really has slowed me down and given me a different perspective. It has really shown me how necessary it is to take care of myself and to really love myself. And it has given me a level of empathy for others that I don't think I would have had.
Sometimes what seems like the worst thing that could happen to us ends up being one of the best things that could ever happen to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you could have any 3 people in the world, alive or dead, sitting at your dinner table with you for dinner, who would those 3 people be? Why would you want them there? And what would you serve for dinner?
Okay. So I would serve an all organic, gluten-free, sugar-free meal so that I can actually eat it.
All right.
And I would have my grandmother because my grandmother on my mom's side, because I would just love to know more about the family history. I'd love to know more about who she was as a person. I was born late in life, so I didn't have grandparents. I'd have my brother. There's so many conversations that I never got to have with him. We were not close, and he didn't really accept me as a person, and I didn't really accept him as a person. And I have fallen so much more deeply in love with him after his passing. And I would love to just know more about who he is and what his dreams were. And I'll ask him all the questions you've asked me today. And then I would really love to have a conversation with the Dalai Lama. At some point in my life, I would love to get to a place where a smile is on my face most of the time because I am truly feeling at peace. I would love to laugh more. I would love to let go of the fear that is inside me. I would love to be in a place where I can really honestly see the good in others most of the time. And I'd love talking about that and how he's in that place.
Okay. If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
One, you've done an amazing job. This has been so much.
Thank you.
So good. I would ask me a little bit about my history because, so like, how did you come to be a business consultant? And what I would say is I started off in forensic science. That's my undergraduate degree. And then I was a deputy coroner for a couple of years. And in that experience, I learned that just because I'm really good at something doesn't mean that I need to do it for the rest of my life. And that's a really important lesson that I think a lot of people never learn. And they do the thing because they're really good at it, or other people think they should do it, but it's not what they actually enjoy doing. And I was really good at autopsies. I was really I was able to take the skull off of the human body so well. Like I was the best at it. And I don't need to do that the rest of my life. I don't need to do that the rest of my life because
it doesn't fill you.
What's that?
It doesn't fulfill you.
It didn't fulfill me. And then I studied neuroscience, which I really loved. And that's when my health crashed. And I also didn't really enjoy doing experimental research on humans or animals. I didn't enjoy it. I do feel like there's a necessary component for experimentation to know what's going to work and what's not going to work. But I did not enjoy that. And then I worked in corporate for a while and ended up going into business consulting after that. And I'm in ministerial school right now. And I'm getting a doctorate in religious science right now.
Wow.
And I have planned to do something with that once I finish with my degree. And I might not be done. And I think that's an important piece to realize is that we may do really awesome, amazing things. And they may just be a portion of our life. And we might decide to do something different. And that's okay. And we also might pursue education and things that we do nothing with. Just because we love to learn. And that's okay too.
Absolutely. We are life learners. We should be life learners. There's always room for growth and expansion and furthering our education. It's important to who we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is your why, Arliss?
Because I eventually want to live in a world where being gentle and compassionate and loving towards ourselves and other people is the norm. And the only way that's going to happen is if I normalize it within myself and I show other people what that looks like and give them the option to choose that as well. If we have to be the change in the world that we want to be. Gandhi was right in that. And so that's why I do what I do, is because I want it to be normal someday. Yeah. That we're kind and loving and gentle to each other and ourselves.
Always, love always wins.
Yeah.
Always. If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
It would be Cheryl Strayed. So she wrote the book Wild. She wrote the book Beautiful Little Things. She's written some novels as well. I really love the way she thinks, and I really love the way she writes. And she's gone through things that I haven't gone through. And she's gone through things that I have gone through. And I just think it would be a really fun conversation. And I think we'd laugh a lot. And I think I'd learn a lot.
Yeah. Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Find the people that when you're your worst self, or you're puking your guts out, or you're covered in mud, or you say the wrong thing, or you step on someone's toes, or you break that favorite vase, they still love you. Find those people and recognize them as your people. And if at any point those people don't accept you, or other people don't accept you for those things that I'd mentioned, they're not your people, and that's okay.
Yeah. Beautiful. Lastly, Arliss, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your corner of the world, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Loving ourselves changes the way that we interact in this world, and it makes it more likely that other people will be willing to love themselves too. And if we can be an example of that love, then we unknowingly give permission to others to love as well.
Beautiful. Arliss, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I have thoroughly enjoyed every moment of this time with you, our conversation. I am grateful and honored to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you so much for sharing your story, your journey, your wisdom and knowledge. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for everything you do in this world. And I would love to just, if you're listening right now, let's give a big woohoo for everything that he does. Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, Arliss, thank you so much. That just filled my heart. I appreciate you so much. I am grateful to know you and to call you a friend. Thank you for being a guest today. Once again, my name is Brad Welsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Arliss Dudley-Cash. She is an author, a business consultant, and a TV host. Thank you so much, Arliss. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.